welcome to LOCKBEARD PHENOMENA number 37. How many? It's Saturday, March 26th, 2022. How's everybody doing? I see Cindy was first here. Welcome. Mr. Lee, welcome. Judy. Icon, welcome. Yeah, this question keeps coming up. And people continue to make these really low estimates of the number. You know, it's hard for them to believe. You know, people didn't even believe the damn mountain gorilla was out there, and then they went up there, and there they were. You know, this animal that gets up to 500 pounds, right there. Uncontacted tribes are sometimes found even today. I mean, well, I don't know when the last one was, but very, very recently, there's been tribes of people that they didn't know they were out there pop up. Let's ask Scotty W. Scotty W. Who's that again? You talking about the guy that was on somebody's show here recently? I was there, but it's all running together for me. But he was like, he had really low estimates. And I have there's a whole lot that goes into why I say 1 million is not unreasonable at all. It would just take an unbelievable amount of time to unpack it, because, you know, a lot of it's just stuff I crammed in my head over the years that adds up to this. So, you know, finding, trying to find a way to present the chaos up in here is difficult. You know, a person has to walk in my shoes, I guess, to see why I have that perspective. Judy says she loves everybody, and you have to find your charger. Well, all right. It's on Moog's show, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Are you talking about that guy that I commented in the? I think you might be talking about a different guy. I commented in the chat. You know, we have a live one because this guy I was reading it. The guy he was on the crazy train. Sorry, Mogs was really good. Mogs was real nice. Even said he could come back, but the guy started talking flat Earth, and oh boy. Mr. Lee says Graham Hancock says the human race is older than we think. Yeah. Now, if he starts trying to go down the road of saying we're aliens and all that stuff, I'm gonna be like, Graham, you're gonna have to reel this back a little bit. That whole alien crap is nonsense, and unless you're gonna call into question like all science. I mean, you've heard me question quantum physics, but quantum physics, I mean, even if you probe them and ask them about certain things, they really don't know shit. They really don't know crap. But whereas, you know, you can say, like in the human genome, you can see we have a chromosomal fusion, and this isn't unique. Some people try to say, well, that couldn't happen in nature, and the aliens must have come and fused those chromosomes together because it couldn't happen naturally to create us. Yeah, except this same type of chromosomal fusion has occurred and has been documented in a number of other animals on the planet. Your ridiculous theory just went to pot, right? They need to stop themselves, because these people, you're talking about people that have no scientific knowledge. And then, of course, they start spouting this crap to other people who also don't have much scientific knowledge, who are otherwise intelligent people, but this starts sounding legitimate. They're like, wait a minute, this sounds pretty legit, except it isn't legit because you're missing a whole lot of information. Humans were not designed or created by aliens or anything like that. Now, we may have guided some of our own breeding in different populations over time. We may have selectively bred our own kind. Now, that's not unreasonable. We've done it to a bunch of other animals, and we have done it with ourselves to some extent. Some people in a nicer way than others. I'd refer you to 1940s Germany for the unnice type. So no, this whole alien origin crap is just nonsense. Scotty Waddles. I'm still not quite sure who that is. The Cray train. So you are talking about that guy, right? Yeah, and this guy, he's seen it all, man. He's seen all kinds of crazy stuff, right? And at first I'm thinking, well, maybe he's legit. He hasn't said he hadn't gone too crazy yet, and he's seen this and he's seen that, and he's seen all this stuff, and then he starts talking about the Earth is flat, and it just kept on going downhill. Icon says, was that the dude that seen every known cryptid and then some? Yes. Hopefully he don't show up over here. We don't need nut jobs. I'm interested in legit, thought processes here for people that haven't gone off the deep end. That guy's gone off the deep end. He's gone. There may be some very fantastic. Well, there are some very fantastic things about reality. But man, we got to be on guard at all times against these crazy people's coming in and just muddying up the water. We're here trying to catch these fish, and we can't see where they're at because these people come in and they wade in there and just start jumping up and down and hooting and hollering and saying a bunch of crazy shit, muddy up the water, and messes us up. We're trying to zero in on some pretty wild facts, and we got to be really careful as we come in on our approach, right? We got to be careful that we don't get associated with these crazy people. That's part of the problem with the image of the Bigfoot community. We got some pretty legit people questioning things, trying to keep things logical, trying to keep it real, and then these nut jobs wander in and screw it all up and give us all negative image, so we don't get taken seriously by the general public. We don't get, there's not money directed into the research, right? I mean, if there was, I'd be applying for a grant or something to go and do my own. I guarantee I could accomplish a lot more than a lot of these people out there. They have zero scientific training. They have very limited scientific knowledge, and they may have thumbed through some stuff. They may have learned a few things Googling, but they're not they're not scientists. I would hesitate to call myself a scientist for that matter, but certainly not these people that are going out on glorified camping trips and hooting and hollering at the woods. They're like, oh, we're gonna catch up these Sasquatch, and yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not. There's a few individuals out there that might be, approaching things a little better, but not good enough. Not good enough. They haven't found squat. They've got recordings of shit in the woods, but they don't know what made those sounds. They don't know what made those sounds. They have no idea. They can claim all day that it's got to be Sasquatch, but they don't know that. They don't. As far as we know, we have no confirmed recordings of Sasquatch sound. Nothing confirmed, not one. So we got a problem. Hello, Jen. Welcome. You've offended my quantum air conditioner, says Icon. Yeah. Yeah. Quantum. You know, I had one guy, I was working at Lowe's. And he was trying to talk to me all sciencey and stuff, right? When he's one of those kind. They figure out that's where you're at, or what you're interested in and stuff like that. They start trying to act like they know something. And he's like, quantum, I don't know how quantum came up. I don't know how quantum physics came up. But he said quantum just means small. I'm like, child, it's a little more complicated than that. But yeah, ridiculous cult of quantum, as Ken calls it. There's Scotty. Welcome. And lots of highs and hellos. Get email come through. Cindy says also in chat, killed by Bigfoot was talking fantastical claims. Oh, really? I didn't. I mean, I haven't. I've been in and out of all the chats. I haven't been like reading everything in the chat, so I miss a lot. Partly because I'm doing other stuff, and then partly because it's kind of hard for me to see sometimes. So at times I gotta like zoom in a little bit on the screen and bring up the chat. So I'm kind of cutting out part of the viewer just so I can read the chat comfortably without straining my eyes. You heard some effed up people talking all kinds of rubbish around here. Yeah. Must be coming Pony Express. London is full of nutters. Yes, Mr. Lee. Imagine maybe we got our share in America, man. On the Biden train. Oh my gosh. London is on your bucket list. Yeah, well, they actually let you over there now. I hear travel restrictions now are being relieved, but still they're gonna be probably harassing you. You had your COVID shot? Screw you. I'm a free person, not some dude. Hey, did y'all look? We all make fun of how to read emails. But sometimes there's some interesting stuff that comes across his channel. He put a printed version of an email up, and it was a pretty sad story about this. This lady, she's the wife of a firefighter who had suffered from PTSD and from his job because he's seen a lot of horrible things, children dying and stuff like that. And anyway, they were having all these kind of problems and having to sell their house, and he got fired and because he didn't want to take the jab, because he, as well as a lot of other emergency personnel, they're seeing it. They're seeing what happens, like that people are getting sick. I gotta be real careful what I'm saying. People are getting sick. According, I guess I gotta say it how I gotta say. These people are claiming that. We'll put it that way. You look into it, you'll see. Look, I've said it enough on here. If you guys who are listening, good for you. If you're not listening, look, you all need to look closer. Look closer. Get it out of your head like, oh, Lockbeard's just crazy about this. No, look closer. Don't look at the news. Don't look at the politicians. They lie. They lie. They get caught lying all the time. God damn it. Anyway, it was a pretty sad story that like he couldn't get help for his PTSD anymore. Like they were basically cut. If you don't do what they tell you to do, you get cut off. You get cut off. It was pretty. It was on his community page or whatever they call it on his channel. Tempted to go watch it. Oh, the crazy guy came on Mogs. Chessport says hello, Lockbeard, and everybody else. What is it? Come on, function, damn it. Okay, there it goes. Chat. Gonna knock your socks off. Give you chills. Sierra sounds. Yeah, we don't have to. Someone could have faked all that for all we know. We can't confirm that they came from Sasquatch. We just can't. Lee says, "Scott, let me know when you're coming over. Better to stay with me." Sounds wonderful, mate. Scotty says, "I'll put my slippers on first." Or Jen says to Scotty, "I'll put my slippers on first." Hello, Meredith. Welcome. Lots of hellos coming down through there. Let's see, where's Donald Fuller? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there he is. There he is. He says, "Hi, folks. Lockbeard's looking good. Had to get rid of mine. Beard's looking good. Had to get rid of yours. Oh, man, that sucks." There, look, Donald. Yes, Mr. Lee, you invoked his name and he appeared. It worked faster if you draw a pentagram on the ground, though. Okay, you gotta draw the pentagram on the ground. But everyone in here had a negative gut reaction to the mention of the pentagram. Stop it. That symbol doesn't mean what you think it means. If you have a negative reaction to the word pentagram, you are missing a whole bunch of information. You've been taught all this crap. It's evil. It stands for this and blah. No. You have no idea the origin of that symbol and what it actually means. And it's not evil. It actually contains in it the secrets of how the universe functions. Ask you shall receive. Mr. Lee summoned Donald. See, Mr. Lee's got some magical powers. All right, so why don't we do a little maths? It's going to be real simplistic. Like I would love to go like even more in depth. One of my problems was, because anthropologists tell you, the right size. There's like a certain size for how human social groups need to be. Like the ideal size, like for a tribe is, I think it's like under 150 people. Like once you get to be more than that, you end up, it's when you start having divisions. And I've talked about this a little bit before about, in a successful tribe starts to grow and get bigger, right? Their kids die less because they're better at this or that. They're smarter. They're better at finding medicines or staying out of dangerous situations, whatever. And the tribe gets bigger, right? And then at some point, it gets big enough to where you have this group that thinks we should do this thing and that group who thinks we should do that thing. And then they give themselves names for their groups, perhaps, perhaps Democrat and Republican. And then they start fighting. They start fighting over this issue. Except in a primitive tribe, maybe the issue is, do we migrate down to the lowlands in August or in September? Maybe one group wants to go a little sooner than the other, and then they both think the other one is not right for whatever reason. Oh, it's too late. This fruit will not be ripe yet, or there's too many dangerous predators there, so we don't want to go until the last minute, or we won't wait until the bears have moved up the slope or something. You know what I mean? There could be a number of reasons, but they'll fight. Humans will find a reason to fight once your group gets too big. Even small groups they will, but especially because once you got 150 people, well, you got enough for a small battalion, right? 2 small battalions who could just start fighting. instead of just two dominant males, having a fist fight, you could have some serious problems. So then you got to decide, do we fight until our number comes down to a manageable amount where the majority can overrule the minority, or do we divide our tribe into two groups and go our separate ways and try to come to a peaceful resolution in this matter? Oh damn, the chat just going. Are you sure, Mr. Lee? Are you sure? Are you sure? If you really want to figure it out, if you want to know the real reason, you need to go over to Ken's channel. I don't. Maybe you've been on there and you've seen, like, he's presented about this matter, what its true origin is, and what it actually means. The very geometry of the universe. It's nothing evil. It's nothing evil. It's a good thing. Who are you talking about, Lockbeard? Who am I talking about? 3 minutes ago? Who was I talking about 3 minutes ago? You're a tribe of one. Meredith says, Jen and chessboard mirrors. Just say alien orgies. Count me out on that one. No alien orgies. Donald says, the power of squatchology that summoned Mr. Lee. Have you worked on your transgressions? Judy says symbols have different vibrational levels and meanings. Yeah, Ken Wheeler actually is the only. I don't know of anyone else. I mean, this is the problem. I only have Ken Wheeler to point you to. That for someone that's going to take the time, and he'll take time, because you can't just watch like a couple of his videos and truly understand the enormity of the situation. He's got thousands of videos on his channel. The world is very lucky that he's out there trying to teach people this stuff and has produced this record for people to see and to try and understand how the universe actually functions and what that pentagram is actually all about, and where it originated from, because it got taken. Like when the new religion came in, they're like, oh, we got to demonize the older religions, so we're going to tell all these people this is a satanic or it's witchcraft or whatever. And it's just gotten nuts. It's gotten nuts. It's just like, Mr. Lee brought up Graham Hancock, who has said, humanity is a species with amnesia. We have amnesia. We've forgotten so much from the past. And some of the little bits and pieces are floating around, like the pentagram, but people have no idea what its true meaning is. And it's really sad situation. The tribe of Loki. Well, that would fit with his MO. If you're not aware of the origin of his name, that would certainly fit with his MO. Donald, sort of. Leading the way. Meredith says, Donald, I was referring to Mr. Lee in your last comment to him. Follow your dog. Follow the dog. Yeah. He's beyond clever. If those people who have figured out that they need to forget everything they heard about from Einstein and study the stuff that comes from Tesla's long gone now, though. Your next step from Tesla is Ken Wheeler. That's like serious truth right there. Meredith says, not our Mr. Lee's. He's full, man. Better stop talking like this. It might offend someone, and I'd hate to do that. Ruthless is here. Welcome. Yeah, Ken is awesome. Ice shelf just collapses. What? Antarctica. What about Antarctica? Instead of ice shelf just collapses. Do you mean an ice shelf just collapsed? Is there something in the news I haven't caught yet? Because that would be cool. And you know what's going to happen? Oh my gosh, it's the global warming. Shut up about the global warming. I hate to pull my I don't know where I got it. I don't know where. Somewhere it's in a box. My diploma. You know, I have a degree, an environmental degree, and I'm telling you, do not let them lead you astray with this man-made global warming bullshit. They'll point to a few little things that look sounds legit. It does sound legit, but they are so full of shit. It's all about power. It's all about power and money. That's all it's about. Follow the money. Look at what they're doing with the laws. There's an agenda afoot. Has nothing to do with what the science really says. The science does not really say we're all about to die. Look, they said that I can't even remember the years that they were claiming. Oh, this is going to be, Florida is going to be underwater. There's going to be these massive tsunamis and there's hurricanes and every time a hurricane this is the worst hurricane ever. No, it's not. No, it's not. Hurricanes happen. Tsunamis happen. This shit happens. Ice melts and goes back. And they're like, oh my gosh, the polar bear is going to die out. And then the most recent evaluation of polar bear numbers shows that they've had an increase. So, well, what happened there? You said that the polar bears are about to die out. No. Shut up with the global warming. Jesus Christ. We got more important things to focus on than this BS anyway. Got habitat destruction all over the place, and that's what we need to focus. And then toxic waste. We need to stop that air pollution, water pollution, and so on. The Brow Stearns or Brewer Star. Mm. I'll bring it up to him and see what it says, Icon. Ruthless. It says Judy, I was following it and the directions it was traveling, but I missed that island back a while back. Not too far back. Scary. How many what? How far behind am I in chat? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I think I lost my spot. The damn chat is being spastic, so the weather, Scotty, rainy. Yeah, how many what, Mr. Lee? How many what? Judy says, sadly, the ones in charge of us are evil, but we're all waking up. Usual times. They know cycle 26 will be likely reset. The sun spew. I don't know about all that. We look every couple of years. It seems like there's somebody saying, the sun's going to spit at us and we're going to die. Yes, this could happen at any time, but if they're trying to tell me they know when it's going to happen, I've seen so many people try to make predictions, and they need to freaking stop. They don't know exactly what's going to happen. We need to try and be prepared, yes, but when people hyping on stuff and trying to sell a book, and then you got a 2012 movie, remember that coming out? Because they're like, oh my gosh, Mayan calendar, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was bullshit. And the movie was stupid. the movie was freaking stupid. There was a couple funny things in it, but it was overall stupid. Just got the message. So what are you saying? Are you saying that there has been a chunk of ice shelf collapse, like a large? Because there's pieces coming off all the time. You know, if you added up all the pieces that come up constantly, that one big piece is probably not going to look so menacing. You know, but toxic waste. Yeah, you can grow things when it's warm, not so well when it's cold. Yeah, wasn't Ken talking about that the other day? No, maybe not. Maybe somebody else. But it is true. You know, it's true. There'll be more areas that can grow if it warms up, and yeah, and the climate changes all the time. That's just normal. And to think that humans have that can have anywhere near a significant impact on that at this point. I mean, we can have some. We got the technology. We can do some crazy shit, but in general, the Earth uh, can deal with our CO2 emissions pretty well. Don says Moog's buddy has me looking up all the time after the talk about other meteors at a higher level. Hate to get leveled by one. Yeah, but it could happen any time. The Earth passes through the torrid stream twice a year, and every time we do, there's a chance that a big chunk could hit us and completely destroy civilization. It happened before, and it can happen now. You know, so every year there's a chance when we get too close to it, and you know, sometimes we get a little deeper into it than others, but right on target, Lockbeard. You're talking in code. Scotty says you could always farm icicles, sell them to Eskimos. Yeah, but they got plenty of them. Ruthless says I gotta check email. How many Sasquatch? All right, yeah. Hold on a second. I'm trying to catch up the chat here, and then I'm gonna do a real crude like estimate based on a sample of humans. Although I'll talk about a couple other types of people on the planet, but Ruthless Cycle 25 is hectic. He just goes on a tangent, then he reads the word beer. Yeah, that's what hacks me off, man. People come in his chat talking all kinds of nonsense and keeping us from talking about real issues. You know, the flat earthers show up, and you know, what a waste of time. And then they'll get them on a tangent about, you know, just stupid shit. You know, like, okay, I'm great. He works leather, stuff like that. Okay, that's fine. I don't care about leather working. If I need a leather product, I might order one from him, but you know, I don't feel like we need to spend a bunch of time in his live streams talking about what leather working. You know, there's far more important issues to talk about. Even the politics, he could ease up on a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there are 11-year cycles, but this guy says, I've seen my fourth 100-year flood in the last 20 years. Can't work it out. Well, that would take a while to go into. Don't worry too much about it. Just don't live in a flood zone, for one. You know, they'll say something's 100-year flood just because their best estimation is this is how often it happens on average. Look, 100-year flood, it's an average, right? That means it could happen twice in 1 year. It could, and still average out in the long run because the next one happens 200 years later instead, you know, or something like that. Still averages out. And even then, you know, how accurate is their accounting of that? They, you know, they're not necessarily, you know, right on the nose. So just don't worry about it because these things get used to hype they hype it up and spook people and make a news story out of it. It's just umbrella. Ketchup popsicles to Eskimos with white gloves. Everything going out has rolled out past 100 years, bar one event. I'm not 100% sure what that meant. Judy says, has anyone seen Jerry's videos on when the buildings cried? Yeah. Dumb shit. Cindy says, yeah, well, I'm going to die. Should I wait for Yellowstone volcano to explode or any of their many book of disasters? Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a bad idea for anyone to live anywhere near Yellowstone. I mean, that's just asking for it, right? Because it could pop at any moment. It really could. And if you're living real close to that, you're going to freaking die. But it'll affect just about everyone on the continent for sure. And it'll affect others around the world some as well. I don't know. Judy says, oh, that's one of the bids Mank is always linking to. Yeah. If Mank links you to it, dude's off the. He's one of them nutters. Swallowed by a whale. East side. Size of New York City on the east side. The ice shelf you're talking about. My eye says, hi all, just arriving. Is the meteor incoming in or is it just small talk? Yeah, just small talk. Meteor could hit any time. I mean, do I think we need to take? Do I think we need to make efforts to be better able at tracking them and better able of defending ourselves from them? Sure, but they hype up this stuff every so often, and it's irresponsible. 86 muscular dystrophy. But didn't you get rid of most of your symptoms with the carnivore diet, Donald? Or was that somebody else? That was somebody else. Carnivore diet, if you haven't. Ruthless says, oh, Christ, flurfs. Yeah, damn flurfs. Welcome to the chat, my eyes, by the way. Flurfologist. Yeah. Nobody should be on TikTok anyway, man. Remember you put me on your prayer list. 1 in 3,000 year flood. Don't live down in the valleys. How many Sasquatch in Oklahoma? I haven't figured up because there's a lot of factors, and one like there's so much unknowns. It's hard to say anything for certain. So again, people are gonna say, "Well, you can't possibly know this," and there's this and that. And I'm like, I know there's a lot of factors here, but I still think people are coming way in underestimating on the numbers. And I'll show you one point here that will help illustrate that a little bit in just a bit. 7-hour lobotomy. No wonder he's hefting ahead. Yeah. The melting buildings. Don't look at that stuff. Look, it will just mess up your head. It's bullshit. Mank is full of shit on a lot of stuff. Mr. Mike My Eye says some name county is the most climate change resilient place in the country. Yeah, it does. Well, yeah, I know. We're kind of stuck with YouTube for the time being is the best place to do a channel like this. So, I mean, I do have my channel syncing up over to BitChute and Odyssey and Rumble, but I can't live stream to those places just yet. So, you know, it costs a little extra, costs money to do it, and I would say there in Northeast Kingdom, but usually a lot more snow to deal with. Bullshit fossil giants. Yeah. So how about we look at this here? Yeah. Y'all have probably heard. Well, I think I've mentioned the Sentinelese people before. This is island, you know, over by India, with this tribe of people who are isolated. They're isolated on this island. There may be some more isolated peoples, but I figured these might be a pretty good example. Unfortunately, like no one can go on the island, right? Because anyone who goes there, they kill them. Anywhere that goes to the island, the Sentinelese kill them. Like every so often, a missionary will try to go on there and get his ass killed and all this stuff. You know, I think there was recently a more positive interaction with them, but in general, the Sentinelese live off of that island. Period. Mr. Lee says, "Ooh, what's this?" Icon says, "Senile people, I remember. I resemble that remark." Cool Island says, "Ruthless. Yeah, it's in the ocean between India and Thailand. Yeah, yeah. You too." So why am I bringing these people up? Because I need to find some people that were isolated. Were not, you know, they're not getting anything from outside this territory here. They depend on the land that they're on. The estimations of their numbers, their estimated population is between 15 people and 500 people. But you know, it's probably more like 200 to 400, somewhere in there. So, and the area of the island officially is 59.67 square kilometers. I drew that red hexagon around it. That area inside the red hexagon is 100 square kilometers. I did that partly because, you know, I wanted to have a you know, good square number to do this math here in a little bit. You know, you start multiplying 59.67 and dividing, you know, gets messy. It's a lot cleaner to work with 100 even. Plus, the fact is even though the land is 59 square kilometers, there's these reefs around the area, and they're probably getting a lot of their resources from the sea. So, to make it a more conservative estimate on the amount of land that they're living off of, I'm including part of the ocean around them and the reefs, because some of the resources are coming from that. So, that's the reason why I drew the red line, the red boundary around, and increase the area they're living on from 59 to 100. And also that would make it where people are less likely to be able to argue with me about the estimate I'm going to show you in a little bit. Which they can argue with me, I don't care. But Donald says, "My eyes, I know the maple syrup makers have better season than anywhere else, and bet the island don't tolerate them pesky flurfs." Oh shoot, ruthless. The people on this island probably don't even have a concept of a globe or a flat Earth. They probably just think the entire universe is the damn island. So, yeah, there's lots of paper paper company land too. Lots of moose. I like talking about in Canada. Pesky kids. Thought he was calling Batman. So, I mean, does that sound like I'm being pretty charitable, ain't I? Because what I'm trying to say is how much land does it take to support these people? It's 59 square kilometers, but I'm rounding all the way up to 100 to make this estimate more conservative. Now, I'm not going to go with 15 people. I'm going to call it 45 people because I don't think it's as low as 15 people. But they have estimates up to 500 people on this island, but I'm just going to go with 45. So I'm making a conservative estimate that there are 45 people sustainably living on this land on 100 square kilometers. Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of tribes around the world. A lot of them are protected by the governments over those territories, and then in some cases they're not. Like that one tribe down in Brazil, who they came out looking for help because they had been attacked, and it's unclear who attacked them, but they only knows they were white people with guns. And these people come out looking for help because, like, this guy who was talking, he's like, my dad got killed, and my wife got killed, and 2 of my kids got killed. My wife's dad got killed. A whole bunch of people got killed, and they tried fighting them with arrows, but they had guns. And now they're, unfortunately, and it's really sad because these people were living their traditional life in harmony with nature, and now they're wearing our clothes and living, getting exposed to our system, and it's going to cause eventual degradation and perhaps total destruction of their culture. We shouldn't allow that to happen. Some people say, well, we need to give these people all the good things we have. Yeah, that's worked out well for us, hasn't it? Look at what's happening to us. It's not good. It's not good. And if civilization collapses, those are the kind of people that are probably going to help humanity carry on, because everyone in America, except for a very tiny, tiny few, is going to die. Those people down in the rainforest probably won't even know anything happened. They'll be like, well, there was a bunch of wind one day and it got kind of hot. We just jumped in the river and kept cool until the solar flare. I mean, we don't know what it was. It was magical fire demons in the sky, but whatever it was, we had a rough day of weather, but then we just, went out and killed another caiman today and had a feast. So whatever. Meredith says, not me. I've never had a negative reaction to the word pentagram or looking at it get schooled. People. Size in New York. Ice shelf. Is it so? You guys, your pareidolia goggles. You got some pareidolia goggles on if you're seeing Batman in that island. Actually, in North, hold on. I don't got this oriented north. North is actually kind of that way on this map. So Meredith says Friday 30 is good luck day for me. Power and positivity. Mr. Lee says, how do you come to that conclusion, Lockbeard? What conclusion? I don't know. I've said a few different things in the last several minutes, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, Mr. Lee. Which conclusion? Lockbeard says, or Maya says Lockbeard, but they don't require space to stay hidden on the island. What do you mean by that? They don't require space to stay hidden on the island. You say, but I don't understand. It sounds like you're making some kind of rebuttal. So, if you could clarify that, that would be helpful because I don't really know what you're trying to say. Oh gosh, Ruthless and Scotty are flooding the chat here. Chessport says, Lockbeard, the Amazonian tribes are being wiped out. Yes, they are, and it needs to be fucking stopped. Mr. Lee says, I have a claw hammer next to my head at all times, telling you. Bunch of Batman references. Yeah, well, it was funny because there was a video when the of this tribe, they came out and they were looking to make contact because they had these bad things that happened to them, and this white anthropologist was there, and I guess he was smoking, and they didn't know what they were saying yet. They couldn't communicate, but later on they were able to be able to figure out how to translate their language, and so it was translated on the video, and he was pointing at the white guy, saying, "Look, he's breathing fire." So it was kind of funny, but he was just smoking a cigarette, I think. Mr. Lee, I still don't know what you were talking about earlier. You said, "How did I come to what conclusion?" Well, what conclusion are you talking about? Maya says, I'm saying that maybe Bigfoot require more space, or they would be seen. The people in the island probably live in huts in a thickly settled community. We would have seen Bigfoot if they lived like that. Well, true. I mean, but we know that they stay hidden in forested areas, and the island is forested. So the humans may live because they don't have anything to worry about there, right? They're the only ones there, or at least as far as we know, there's just one tribe, but not two separate tribes. It could be two separate tribes that tolerate each other or something, but it's 100 square kilometers, man. 45 people, gosh, that's not that many people, and they're living on that land sustainably. But I figured, and it's just 60 square kilometers. So part of the reason why I'm trying to I'm making that huge, it's that rounding up all the way to 100 square kilometers is to help eliminate the criticisms of the estimates, because you see at the bottom there I put, if one Bigfoot equals 3 humans, then we're looking at 15 Bigfoot per 100 square kilometers could live sustainably on the land. I'm pretty sure very few people would challenge that 3. But you get guns here, but no ammo. Why am I not surprised? That is better. I'm an expert. I'm still not sure what you were talking about, Mr. Lee, earlier. I don't know. I think I'm being pretty reasonable here with this number. One Bigfoot could live off the land that 3 humans need, I think, fairly well. And I'm rounding up this land by 40 kilometers, from 60 to 40 square kilometers. My says, it seems the capacity of the land to support them isn't an issue. The ability to avoid humans is the limiting factor. Why aren't they showing up in Google Earth photos? I don't know. If they camouflage really well in the woods, and then again, if the government is, it seems like the government's probably involved in their cover up, right? They probably got a whole team of people making sure, like, going through and which, but look, with the technology the government's got, they probably know the location of every single Bigfoot in existence for all we know. Like, they could, uh, heat vision cameras, and they could pinpoint them all. And then then so all they got to do is correlate that. Say, look, we got a heat signatures here. We got 15 heat signatures here, and we just took a picture, an updated photo for Google to go on Google Earth. Before we put it online, we go in and we, blur it up a little bit. We do a little editing. You don't agree with what? I don't know what you're talking about. Which part don't you agree with? You guys got to tell me because I don't know what you're talking about. You got to tell me what you don't agree with, because I don't know what you're talking about. Because I've said a whole bunch of different things. I don't know which part. Sasquatch are everywhere. Okay. You don't share my faith in government. I don't know, man. They're control freaks. You got Bigfoot that wants to hide, and if you got government that wants to hide them, that combines to we ain't ever gonna see crap. Let's see here. Racist in these parts. Icon says Google Earth has been editing people and stuff out of the imagery for some time now. You used to be able to see people and signs, nasty stuff written on rooftops, crime, accidents, fires. Stuff added as well. Maya says, I don't share your faith in government to track these and keep it secret. I think there's something more to it. So you're trying to suggest the woo. So that's my first point in this equation, right? You got North Sentinel Island. You have this tribe of people that are isolated. They do not let people on their island. If someone sets foot on the island, they freaking kill that person. They've killed like a missionary, trying to go bring them the good word, They didn't want it. Population estimate is 15 to 500. I'm not sure how they come up with their estimates. I mean, it's a pretty broad range there, but I think that if they really wanted to know, they could fly over, do heat signatures, and probably get a complete tally. So someone may know, but it's probably 200-300 people on the island. But I'm going with a low estimate of 45, and I'm rounding up the land area of the island from 59 to 100 square kilometers to err on the side, way onto the side of caution at this point. So, and of course, with that, we're lacking accurate information. But I would say 45 is a good compromise number on an estimate of the number of people there living sustainably, and then increasing or rounding up the amount of land area to 100, not just for the math, but also to make it even less likely that someone can criticize the number I'm about to give you once I do the math. And then as far as can the land, forget about the hiding part, forget that part. It's like how can the land support, how many Bigfoot can the land support? If the land supports 3 humans, I think that same land could support a Bigfoot just fine. So I think that's reasonable. You know, people say they're, 8 foot, 9 foot tall. Humans are 6 foot. Different guesses on weight, but I don't think anyone can give an accurate weight on them. So this gets me to 100 kilometers can support a tribe of 15 Bigfoot. 100 square kilometers can support a tribe of 15 Bigfoot. So that's what we're going with, right? I could probably break that down to how many per 1 square kilometer, but then we're ending up with fractions and decimal points, and let's just avoid that and just stick with the 100, 15 and 100, right? Don't know what that's about. Possible they don't with this possible, but I don't think Google will add more than they have to. They can't get shit right the first time. Something we don't understand yet. Mr. Lee says, I can't understand why you can come up with a number of Sasquatch. Well, I'm getting there. Just look at this part first. Look at this part first. Do you agree I'm being very charitable here? I got an island with an estimated population of 15 to 500 people on it, right? Now you got to think back to what I've said about Bigfoot before. Bigfoot is clearly extremely closely related to humans. So the kind of things that support us will also support them. Even a chimpanzee, really. But the foot they have, they're clearly derived from somewhere in our family tree, going back only a few million years, from Lucy or so, maybe a little earlier, but on when our kind of foot formed without the opposable thumb. We know they're in our family tree just from the foot, just from the footprints. So I'm being really charitable here, I think, and then coming up with this estimate of this number, a conservative number of 45 and 100 people. 45 people can be sustained very well on 100 square kilometers of land. And then I'm just kind of making a guess that one Bigfoot can live off the same resources that 3 humans can. It's kind of a guess, but so that gives me 15 Bigfoot in 100 square kilometers. Well, hold on. Don't you're asking Oklahoma and Florida. Don't, just hold on a second. Just focus on this at the moment. I mean, can you agree that this is a fairly reasonable? Because everyone's guessing. Everyone's guessing, and I'm trying to use some hard numbers that we have, at least as hard as we got, right? Because we can't look at most people on the planet because most people are getting things shipped in. They're having interaction with outsiders. I picked this island because these people aren't getting shit from nobody. They're living on that land, and just that land. And then some resources are coming from the sea. So that's why I gave that expansion to 100 square kilometers instead of keeping it 60. So it goes in the fate. That will move my math to a lower number than if I just went with the 59.67. Donald says, what if this whole Bigfoot thing is in our brains messing with us and from being primed by movies and hoaxes? It could be, man. Could be, but the footprints there's real footprints out there though. Donald had like subliminal messaging. Ruthless has got a bail. Good to each other. Donald says, Mr. Lee, our brains are getting primed by these things. Look at the Dogman. It didn't become popular till the werewolf movies came out. Yeah. I mean, we could go into some metaphysical crap about why there might be some reality to them, but I don't want to go into that. I'm just talking about the numbers because I heard another guest on someone's show recently, coming up with this ridiculously small estimate, and I think he's off. I think he's way off on the possibilities here. Some of the sightings are mistaken. Yeah. Chessboard says Lockbeard, those elected that are supposed to protect the Amazonian tribes need eliminated, as corp industry are killing those people for profit. Yes, that is true. That is happening. This is why everyone should support the Eternus Empire, because my ass, if it's in my power, I'm going to roll into that bitch. And all the damn loggers who I find killed natives, because loggers are doing this a lot of the time. Just, they're going in and killing native people because they want the damn trees. You gotta be careful what I say. You're gonna get real. If you're found to have done something that evil, I think it's appropriate that you get real familiar with one of those trees, because you're in it. If you know what I mean, you're in it. Greed kills. Yep. Loggers and drugs. The drugs are part of it too. Yeah. The Eternus Empire, if it was in my power, would roll in there and put an end to all that shit. There would be no more destruction of the rainforest. There's already been too much, and we would do everything we could to restore what's been destroyed, because it's ridiculous what they've done down there. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And then now there's one except, because usually I'm about non-interference with remote tribes, right? But you do have some tribes down there that burn areas to grow a crop. I would put together a team of specialists that would go in there and we'd have to be careful what we taught them. We teach them something that would enable them to extract more food easier by hunting, instead of growing cassava or whatever crop they're growing. You don't have to grow a crop. Humans absolutely do not have to grow any crops. That's absolute bullshit that we need to do that. We do not need to do that. I can prove that all day long, but it just takes a long time, and we got to talk about human physiology, and most people don't know shit about human physiology. We got to talk about human evolution, and most people, that they think they know, but they don't know shit about human evolution. But I would try to teach, because they're hunting anyway. Just teach them, better, like something that would help them extract more. And teach them, look, you get more out of the land by letting the land do what it does. Like farming reduces that piece of land. You get less out of that land by farming it, because you think, oh, I'm getting tons of the thing I want. Well, yeah, but do you really want that thing? You're just growing it because it's it's there. It's a semi guaranteed resource to you. That's why humans do that, or part of the reason why humans do that. What you need to do is become a better hunter, so that you have more expectation, that you can are guaranteed to get food, right? Because a lot of those people don't eat for days, and I think a few simple things taught to them could help them change that. Don says, I think I did not so sure anymore. Were they just feral people in the woods? I didn't see any large size that I remember. Don't know anymore. Coming for your kale. Yeah, your kale's poisonous, man. I hate to tell you. Yeah, your kale is poisonous. I mean, you can eat it. You ain't gonna drop dead today, but it's not good for you. It's reducing you are slightly less you're slightly less survivable than you were before you start eating kale, right? If you get rid of kale, you're going to be better off. because it does contain toxins. And I'm not talking what we're spraying on it. I'm talking about what the plant produces to defend itself. It don't want you eating its leaves, and you're not designed to eat its leaves. No matter what these moron vegans tell you, you're not designed to eat all these plants. Very confused. Spinach just saying. Kale's great with pineapple in my morning smoothie. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're eating smoothies? You're drinking smoothies? Oh shit, dude. You think Caveman had a smoothie machine? He had a little blender. He's like, hey, put down your spears and go collect me some of that shitty tasting kale, and we're gonna mix it with a little bit of blueberries here so we can actually choke this shit down. And go milk that cow. They're like, what? Milk a cow? See, they hadn't invented milking cows. That was something, some really sick individual decided, hey, let's go suck some milk out of that animal. You're not supposed to suck. There's nothing about that that's natural. Humans just decided to steal the milk from cows and don't block you. They ain't gonna block you. Vitamin K is a no-no for you. No, breakfast is better. Smoothies are great with bacon. Come on now, we're not even talking about that shit. We're talking about numbers. Okay. So I don't think people can. I'm being very, very conservative here. I'm being very charitable with this number. 45 humans can live on 100 square kilometers, and one Bigfoot can live on the same resources as 3 humans. I think I'm being very charitable here, and I'm probably going to be more charitable as I go on to the next slides, as you will see. Blood thinners in human behavior. All right, so let me bring up what I got next here. Well, I do want to look at a couple other types of people on the planet. We have the gorilla people. I know a lot of humans don't think of them as people, and we think it's okay to put these things in a zoo, but I'm going to call bullshit on that. So, gorillas. There's been groups bigger than 12 by far. Like, I think the biggest one on record ever was 65. But the average size is about 10 to 12, supposedly. Typical area that they occupy is 41 square kilometers. The males are on the bigger end of that weight range, 500 pounds, although they have found bigger ones. I think not over, I don't know if there's been one over 600 pounds, but getting up there. Getting up there. You think my logic is defendable onward? Warfarin? Oh, man. They eat leaves, right? Yeah, gorillas, I don't think, are a good example, though, as far as if you're looking at exactly what Sasquatch is eating, because Sasquatch isn't a fully vegetarian animal like gorillas are. At least I don't think. Too many people have seen them hunting deer, and they've stolen too much meat. But when you talk about overall how much resources are taken from the land, I think it's worth looking at gorillas for a second. I'm not going to use the gorilla number, but as you remember, we had 45 humans on 100 square kilometers. And I'm coming up with here the conservative estimate of 100 square kilometers can support 25 gorillas. based on the numbers that I found on them. Gorillas get up to 500 pounds. So even if we go with 400 pound, males compared to a 200 pound human, they're at least they're twice as big as humans, or at least twice as big as humans. Some would probably require twice as much area, roughly. Again, there's a lot of other factors to consider. We're just doing a very simple, look at a few simple points here. We're not going to come anywhere near anything too accurate. We're just getting in a ballpark, right? So if we go with that logic, and we're looking, okay, one gorilla equals 2 humans on a piece of land. Same piece of land could support one gorilla that supports 2 humans. Then we'd have to then that human equivalent of that 25 there would be 50. Well, we just showed 45 humans living on 100 square kilometers. So gorillas really aren't that far off. But I just thought it'd be interesting to look at them, and see that they're not that far off. Chimps will whip your butt. Shrimps will rip your nuts off. Chewing faces. Yeah. Yeah, chimps are vicious, man. You can see how we evolved from them. Or from a common ancestor with them. They're pretty vicious. Like, they kill each other pretty regularly. And occasionally they eat each other. That's kind of rare, but a lot of times they have conflicts and they kill each other. So again, we're just showing we got a large primate here. Gorillas only get about to like 5'8". I think they've gotten over 6 foot on occasion, but typical, you're looking at 5'8" or so for a male. Truth minus people equals chimps. So anyway, it's just interesting. It's a large animal, and like with those mountain gorillas, they were really elusive. People had a hard time finding them until fairly recently, historically, and so again, people trying to say that the land, because a lot of people try to make that point that the land can't support them, and I'm going to call bullshit on that. If you got a tribe of 10 gorillas living on 41 square kilometers, well, because you have those people that were saying, because they were comparing them to gorillas, right? They were saying, oh, no, the land can't support. It's not the same. Yeah, and true, it's not tropical. So, okay, let's just double the amount of space that they need then for North America. Let's double it. Let's do that. So 50 on 100 square kilometers. Well, that's comparable to human. Straight, 1 to 1. I'm sorry. 12. I went the wrong way with that. Y'all get me turned around. All right, so what's on the next slide? I only got a few slides, but our closest relative, the chimpanzees, the chimpanzee people. They should not be in zoos. They may not be as smart as us, but they shouldn't be in zoos. I've seen different spreads, like 20 to 120 on tribe sizes, but this is one. I can't remember which side I was looking at for this, where they said 25 to 80, because they gave the area, territory they'll cover, 18 to 21 square kilometers for a chimpanzee tribe. And on top of that, a lot of times these tribal territories, these chimpanzee territories, will overlap some. So now this is that number, that area 1821 is in the forest. They have a different range that they use. It's much bigger. I think it goes up to 120 square kilometers if they're out on the savanna, out on the grasslands and stuff like that. Those chimpanzees need more space. But in the forest, 18 to 21 square kilometers for 25 to 80 of them. So if we consider a conservative estimate of 125 chimps to 100 square kilometers, right? Because let's say we went with, because I went with the low number of tribe size, right? 25 members in the tribe in a tribal area of 20 square kilometers. That gives you 125 chimps in 100 square kilometers. But they're smaller than people. Not by far, but even if we said two chimps can live on the same land as a human, that's being very charitable. That would give us an equivalent number to what's that? 50, 60, 62 or so, 62. So chimpanzees don't, they just need less space. They're smaller though. They're smaller. It's not a kiss. That's He's tasting that little one. Chessboard says, Lockbeard, no animal, wild or domestic, should be in a cage. I know plenty of politicians that should be. Yeah. So anyway, but again, the chimpanzees and the gorillas both have an opposable, thumb on their foot. They aren't as close to what a Sasquatch is as what we are. So I say we go. So I say we go with the number for humans. I say we go with the number for humans for this estimation I'm going to make here. Which again, it was a conservative estimate of 45 humans can live on 100 square kilometers of land. And then we're making a guess that one Bigfoot can live on the land that can sustain 3 humans. And that equals 15 Bigfoot in 100 square kilometers. So now we start throwing around some other numbers we know about. We're looking at figuring out a number of Sasquatch that could possibly be in North America, right? So the first number there, 24 million plus square kilometers of land in North America. Subtract the urban area in USA. According to the U.S. Census, the urban area in the United States is 295,000 square kilometers. In Canada, I was having a hard time finding a good reliable number on that. So I estimated, I think, on the high side for Canada. Canada has a way lower population than the United States, and I think I saw an estimate from 2015 of around 16,000 square kilometers. So, and it had been rising in the past to that point. So I went ahead and rounded it all the way up to 20,000 square kilometers, and we're going to subtract that from the total number. The Great Plains. Most people agree that Sasquatch don't like living on the Great Plains. That covers 2,800,000 square kilometers. So we're going to knock that sucker clean off here. Mexico is part of North America, and it contains 1,972,550 square kilometers. We're going to subtract that because why? Screw Mexico. We don't care about Mexico. We're going to find out an estimate for Canada and the United States and Greenland. That's what we're going to get here. And then 9,621,444 square kilometers is the number that I was having a hard time finding a good number because we're looking at different things here. Because I've already got the Great Plains already on there. But when I say treeless, I'm talking about tundra, because in the alpine and all that, there's very limited to zero tree growth in those areas, and in a lot of the desert areas. So I I could definitely find a better number than that. But that's the best I got for the moment. That's the best I got for a moment. And before subtract, I mean, that's nearly, that's well, that is, that number there is 40% of the total land of North America. So I think that's pretty good. If someone could, you know, come up with some good, accurate numbers that are better than that, I'm thinking you're probably going to come up with a smaller number than what I took off of there. The reason why I selected that number specifically was because without that number, my total would be 19,621,444. So I just put it, I just took that number at extra 9 million and so on off to give us an even 10 million square kilometers of land that is forested enough and remote enough for Sasquatch to be living and be able to hide from it. It's not urban. It's not in the Great Plains. It's not tundra. It's not desert. So we got the Rocky Mountains. We got the Appalachians. We got some other mountain ranges. I would certainly like to refine this number in the future. So, I mean, if people want to, you know, try to come up with better stuff than better numbers, we could. I mean, we could leave Mexico in there and talk about what's in Mexico, but it's interesting. Mexico, it's hard to get, you know, how do you get accurate Bigfoot sighting numbers out of Mexico anyway? Judy says, chessboard every government needs taken out and put in prison, crimes against humanity. Greenland is treeless. Looks reasonable. You think it looks reasonable? Greenland is mysterious. That what needs to be said. Greenland has trees at my eyes. Yeah, they have some trees. I would suspect that most of Greenland is not very conducive to Sasquatch, but some of it may be. There are sightings in Greenland. Gobi Desert used to be the Gobi Desert. Used to be the Gobi Forest. Okay, we got 10 million square kilometers to work with now. And we were working off a 15 Bigfoot in 100 square kilometers. So what is our estimate of the number of Bigfoot from what we have done here? 10 million square kilometers divided by 100 square kilometers per a territory, because we're going with 100 square kilometer territory as our unit for a tribe, right? So the result of that is there's 100,000 territories, you know, territories that are made up of 100 square kilometers. Multiply that times 15 Sasquatch in each territory, and that gives us a number of 1,500,000 Sasquatch. I could have been a lot more charitable with my numbers, but I think I was pretty damn charitable to start with. Sing was treeless. Absolutely, is absolutely amazing email icon. So maybe maybe I should stop saying 1 million. Maybe I should start saying 1.5 million going forward. Mr. Lee says, I can't do it, Lockbeard. I'm too dumb. But isn't this encouraging? Like, people don't realize how much space there's out there and how much woods there's out there. And Scotty says those train carriages are parked all up and down our coastlines, used every season. I had no idea they were international. They were an international following. Huh? Oh, you're talking about. Oh, you and Icon are having a discussion there. So yeah, I mean, there's an estimate just based on the numbers, and again, it's all real loose. We're playing flat for. We are playing very fast and loose, but you know, I could have said one Sasquatch needs the land of 4 humans. And that would give me 11.5. That would give me 1,100,000, 150,000. That would still get me over a million. If one Sasquatch lived on the land of 4 humans, that would still get me over a million. Of course, my eyes is, you know, it is right. They need to be able to hide. This is the type of land that can hide them. This is the type of land that can hide them, assuming that my numbers aren't too far off. But as you can see, I've been saying a million for a while, and it's really just been everything rattling around here, and I'm just popping out a number that sounds roughly right to me, 1 million. And but finally for this tonight, I kind of went and tried to get some actual numbers on some stuff, without forgetting, because it's just a whirlwind of shit that I'm popping out my cursory guess. Um, but this is based on some information, actual information I went and put down on these slides so I could kind of show you, kind of illustrate, and it's kind of because I think people are hearing me say they're like, this guy's nuts. How the hell is he coming up with a million? Well, it's hard to put it into words, and but the land is there. The ability to hide from us is there. The food is there. I mean, shit, we got things out there that ain't even supposed to be there. I mean, in Florida, you have multiple species of animals that aren't even supposed to be there flourishing, that those Sasquatch in Florida can eat. We got wild hogs running around half the country, proliferating like a mofo. People want to tell me, oh, this land can't support Bigfoot. It's supporting those damn hogs just fine. And guess what? Bigfoot eats the damn hogs. There's been a number of accounts of that, and there's no reason to think that they wouldn't eat the hogs. Deer are doing just fine. We manage the shit out of them. There's so many deer. There's some areas, there's so many deer, they're having disease problems because there's too many deer. Nobody's going to tell me that this land cannot support a million Sasquatch. They're just not. There's no way they can back that up. They can't. Or at least not with any actual data. These are just, and again, I think that these are just humans. They're big, they're hairy, but they're human, not Homo genus, not some other species of human, but actual Homo sapiens, the same species as us. We could breed with them just fine if we could find them, and we're inclined to. Um, my reasoning behind that, again, I've gone into that before. Well, I don't have a lot of faith in a lot of the classifications in anthropology because they have messed up. They have messed up big time. And they don't even realize it. And finally, I saw a reference somewhere where they actually did refer to Neanderthals correctly, and they called it, as it should be, Homo sapiens subspecies Neanderthalensis, instead of calling it Homo neanderthalensis. Because Neanderthals, it's a proven damn fact at this point, that they were not a separate species from us. They were the same species as us. That's been proven now. No one can say that that's not true. They're just in denial if they do. So whatever scientist, I don't even know who it was. Because see, they get a little prestige. Oh, I discovered a species. I discovered this new hominid. They like to name all these new hominid skeletons. I discovered a new species. And then sometimes they find out, well, this guy, he has this one called this, and this guy's got this other one he calls that, but they're actually the same because they were classifying a bunch of different fossils, hominid fossils, as different species when in actuality they were not. I guarantee you, if we were to get some DNA, intact DNA from a Homo erectus, and we're able to clone a Homo erectus individual, it would be able to breed with us normally. I guarantee it. It would be a small-brained individual, of course. The offspring would, because you're dealing with a race that hadn't developed a larger brain like all the humans today. The survivors, the bigger brain people, were the ones that survived, right, and passed on their genes more often. So brains got bigger. That's a more ancient type of human, but it's still human. It hasn't. It's just like if you take some dogs in different colors and you start breeding them together and you start selecting for the ones of the color you like. Maybe there's blacks and whites and tans and reds, and you want to breed this into dogs that are all red. So you start selecting just the ones that had the most red on it. After a few generations, you can get nearly all red dog or a pure red dog. Well, those generations back were not a different species of dog. They're not red. They're different colors, but they're the ancestors of this one. But they're if you had those dogs here today, they would be able to breed with this one just fine. They're the same species. Every trait is the same, just because the traits change doesn't mean that you have a new species. And these scientists are so quick because they want the prestige. They want that, oh, I'm the one that discovered the Homo nelidus or whatever kind one they want. And there's people out there that want to sabotage all this in general because they don't like the theory of evolution. It's a mess. But whoops. Maya says, hey everyone, my sister just texted me and that there is another wildfire in Boulder, Colorado, and 19K have been ordered evacuated, including my niece and her husband. If you live there, be careful. Yeah. People need to, that's another thing. It's like we're talking about flood zones. Fires come through a lot of those areas all the time. And the situation's completely, like, we're smart enough to completely eliminate that threat. But here we are in 2022, and we somehow have failed to do that. There's a number of things you could do. Like, you could live there and let the fire burn past and be just fine if your house is built out of the right materials. You'd be fine. Stop building out of combustible materials for one thing. You build the damn thing out of rock, or put stucco and a clay roof on it. I saw a picture one time where the fires came through, and there was this hillside. This picture had a hillside. It was row after row of houses that had burned down, and I think these were like expensive houses too. A bunch of rich fucks, and they lost their houses. Of course, they just go get an insurance claim, and then we all pay higher insurance. But anyway, or whatever. Anyway, there was one house in the middle of all this scorched destruction that was standing and didn't get damaged at all. It was fine. Why? Because it was a stucco house with clay tile roof. It was fine. Another thing you can do is control the damn vegetation around your damn house. you gotta go far enough back. You can't just go out 10 feet. You know, if you're in a tinderbox, you need to go back and just control the vegetation. You know, and then put in if you're in a dry climate, you know, xeriscaping. You've heard of maybe some of you heard of xeriscaping. That's where you put like an arid landscaping. You know, you're dealing with cactuses and yuccas and stuff like that, instead of, you know, trying to put in an irrigation system and intensively try to grow stuff that don't really want to grow there. You know, because you want a lawn and you want these types of shrubs, and shit gets dry and you're struggling to keep things watered enough. Stop doing that. Plant arid landscaping, you know, and so everything around you is just not likely to burn. You know, you got highly succulent plants, you know. So yeah, your cactus might get scorched all to hell and die, but a cactus is not going to light up like a tree will or a shrub. So people are doing this to themselves. Your house could be underground for that matter, and you'd be a lot better off anyway for your bills and all that stuff. A lot more protected from temperature extremes. And again, fire's not going to burn up an underground house. It's just not going to happen. You'd be protected. But the people just keep doing it, keep building these houses that burn. And of course, then, you know, another thing you do is just don't live there. There's also the issue of controlled burns. You know, if you do controlled burn outside of the tinderbox season, right, when things are a little damp, so the fire ain't gonna get out of control, and you control burn, you burn up all the combustible material on the forest floor. So when it does get to the dry season and a wildfire does start, it's not going to just be a raging, you know, firestorm. There's a lot less material to burn because you burned it. But you had the damn what's that group called? They're like a environmental group. Again, I have an environmental degree, but I know when you're, you know, there's a difference between, you know, protecting the environment and then being a retard. Some of these people are retards. Well, these people were anti-controlled burns. They're like, oh, it's going to affect this animal and this thing. I'm like, oh yeah, controlled burns. You're worried about the controlled burn killing those animals. What do you think is going to happen when tinderbox situation comes and the place turns into fucking hell? That animal is going to be affected way worse by that than if humans come through and do a controlled burn, a low intensity controlled burn. Shut the hell up. Stop being retards. And these people are retards. They are. They're just straight up retards. I don't know what else to call them. You need to, if you, a controlled burn is going to have a lot less impact than an out of control firestorm. It just is. That's just, it's real easy, but they don't. It's crazy, man. Crossing is epic. Crossing is epic. I know exactly where one like it is going on my train layout. Y'all still having that side conversation. Maya says that's a lot of feet. Yeah. 1.5 million Sasquatch. I'm still going to go with my million. I just feel like a million is right. Is closer to correct. There's two. We are playing pretty fast and loose with numbers. That's why I was trying to be extremely charitable with some of those figures, to take out some of the doubt of what because I knew it was going to be big. I knew it was going to be bigger than a lot of people can even imagine, because people don't know. They just don't know how much space there is and what potential the land is. NWS says there's isn't going to be much drought relief out west this year, maybe in the fall. I'm getting a okay signal for something. I'm not sure what. Maya says, take care. I'm sending vibes to you. Not as bad as last time. Donald says, my neighbor is Mr. Lee, my eyes is my neighbor. No wildfires here out west. Mr. Lee says, no way, Lockbeard. No way to what? I don't know. Because I've said several different things in the last few minutes, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. You got to tell me. You got to tell me what you're talking about, Mr. Lee. Maya says, Lockbeard, there's plenty of space. The land can support it, but why can't we find them? Where are the footprints in the winter? So many questions. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. Because, again, we haven't actually found the creature. One of the things I think, again, it goes back to it's human, that they are extremely intelligent. And they are possibly more intelligent than us. These are a people who are able to avoid us, and that's the big factor. I think a lot of people are not quite wrapping their minds around yet, is that we're talking about a race of humans that are supremely adapted to living in the wild without all because at some point, they had to have had fire at some point, but they don't use it anymore. They don't use clothing. They have, whatever, for whatever reason, they have chosen to exist without all these things and made themselves tough. They could have done this consciously. It may not have just happened by accident. They may have looked exactly like I do right now 20,000 years ago. And the elders got together, and it could have been one tribe that started out as one tribe. The elders got together one day, this is just hypothetical, and said, look, we lose warriors every year because these other tribes are always attacking us, trying to take our territory, trying to kill us, and all this stuff. We need to come up with a different strategy. We've watched this happen generation after generation. All of our grandfathers have told us these stories of this season after season. It's constant fighting over territory. That's what we do. It's what we have to do to survive. We need to come up with a different plan. And some crazy dude in the corner said, "Well, we learned to hide better." They're like, "Well, we hide in the bush all the time." He's like, "No, we come back to a hut. Anyone can find a hut. We come back to a fire. Anyone can find a fire. We have tools laying around. We have spears and scraper stones and beads. These are things that are evidence that we've been here. If someone comes here and they see nothing, they will not know we were here. They will not have any idea we're here. They will not know that there is someone to attack. So we go into the woods. We abandon these things. And we live in harmony with nature and stay out of sight all the time, not just part of the time. We don't have a hearth, we don't have a hut, we don't have beads, we don't have spears. We can do this, and then next thing you know, generations later, because that would have been a hard life. Some would died who couldn't handle it, and the hairier, more cold adapted individuals would have been the ones that survived the best and had the most offspring. The bigger ones who were, again, that size gives them more cold resilience, but strength. And in a situation where you're dealing with megafauna, that's what you're hunting. Well, if you're going to hunt megafauna, because humans, I think part of the reason why humans are as small as they are is because we were hunting the megafauna with spears. I'm talking about a people that chose to hunt without spears. They had to be people who could handle these big freaking animals a lot of the time without spears. They had to become bigger. So the evolutionary pressure was there to make them bigger. Humans started to become a megafauna themselves because they were existing in a landscape of megafauna they were trying to eat. That group of humans. But ours, we continue to use tools. We continue to use spears. that doesn't help with us getting bigger to take down the prey, because we didn't need to become bigger to take down the prey. So that's a potential situation that could have led to who they are and what they became. And so much land, yeah. Live in a pretty safe area. You want a bigger brain, Mr. Lee? We'll be fine. You're in a very damp climate, yeah. Angel brings up another point. How many people go off trails in the winter? Most do not go off trails in the summer. Yeah. And again, you know, these people, these forest people, are surely very cognizant that footprints in the snow could be an issue. So maybe they try not to do it when they can. They may not do it most of the time, or if they do, they just go into more remote areas where humans don't go in the wintertime. And they surely know. They're always out there. They're always watching. So they know, like, you know, occasionally they make mistakes, because occasionally someone does find footprints in the snow. But for the most part, they don't. And welcome to the chat, Angel. Maya says, Angel, true. I do. I backcountry ski and bushwhack on snowshoes. But I hear you. Heck, most people don't go off trail. If it wasn't for tempting trout ponds in backcountry, I wouldn't. Burns are natural. Yeah, they happen anyway. That's what I'm saying. They happen anyway. These people are trying to say, don't do controlled burns. I'm like, it's going to burn anyway, you morons. You know, yeah, and it's better to do it. Just go ahead and do it under a controlled circumstance, and in that way, you won't have all the houses burned down and people die and firefighters die trying to fight these stupid fires. And I think we should just screw it. Just screw it. Let it burn. Look, if you built your house out of combustible materials in the middle of a burn zone, too fucking bad. Just get the hell out. Don't send firefighters to die fighting these fires. Just let it burn. Just tell everybody, get the hell out. Don't jack around. Or if they refuse to leave, say, okay, if you die, you die. We're not going to risk our lives to save your ass because your dumb ass didn't want to leave. Mr. Lee says, how do you work a controlled burn, Lockbeard? Well, I'm sure these the pros have a lot more to it than because what I do, which I haven't done one in a very long time. I don't have my own land anymore. First thing you do is decide on what area you're going to burn. Right, go around the entire area, and if you can, you clear a fire break, which is a strip around the entire area where you have removed the combustible materials without fire. If you're in the woods, it's just a matter of raking the leaves, and rake them in or rake them out, and then leave down the bare dirt. Go to all your trees and rake the leaves away from the trunks of all your trees. Unless you don't care that the trees get burn damage on them. But I always did, because I didn't want the trees to be scorched, and potentially because sometimes you'll kill a portion of the on the trunk, and so now you end up with this. The tree has to heal up over, and then you might get some rot in the tree, and it's just you just rake the leaves and stuff away from the trees. If you got some branches laying around, it might be good to go ahead and gather them all up in a pile and kind of a clearing away from all the trees, as far away from the trees as you can get. The shit can get hot. Like, I've seen a tree get totally killed on one side of the trunk. It didn't kill the tree, but the fire was 10 feet away from the tree, but it was hot enough that it cooked that side and killed the bark on that side of the tree. So now the tree had to heal back over it, and it took many years. That tree still hasn't sealed that opening in the bark, so that's not good. So get so, but you want to get that those branch, because a lot of times the fire will burn the leaves, and it might scorch the branches, some of the bigger branches, but the branch won't burn entirely. So now you got a partially charcoal branch laying there that's going to contribute to a future potential wildfire. So it's better to gather up branches into a pile somewhere away from the trunks of the trees. So when a fire comes through, that pile will go ahead and burn because it'll feed itself and burn up those branches. Once you've done that prep, now I never had water supply because I was in a place there was no water. But ideally, you want to have water supply in case something goes wrong. But anyway, and then you got to think about, okay, how dry is it and how windy is it? Because that determines what you're going to do. Now, if it's not windy and it's not very dry, I'm going to light the fire. If there's a slope, I'm going to light the fire downhill because that'll help make everything burn completely. But if it's windy and stuff, you probably don't want to do that. You want to slow, because if the wind picks up, it's going to make everything burn too quick, and it's more likely for embers to blow off into areas you don't want to burn and start a fire. So you don't want to fiddle with that. Start on the uphill side and then slowly burn down the hill. And as you're going, of course, you're going to have boots on that can, you're not worried about, a little melt damage here and there because you're going to be walking on land. It's going to have some coals here and there. But anyway, I would go through, and as the fire is burning down the hill, you're going through with your rake. You got a metal rake, not plastic, right? And as the fire comes down, a lot of times there'll be stuff uphill that hasn't burned completely. So just continually walk back and forth across that area and raking stuff downhill back down into the fire to burn completely, because sometimes they'll have branches under the leaves you didn't see that didn't burn. So I'm trying to get a complete burn. So now that piece of land, because if you're living there, there's less ticks, there's less rats, there's less everything there because you completely cleared out that forest bottom. Blackberries and stuff like that are going to burn up. If you got a big bush of them you want to get rid of, you may not want to get rid of them, but a lot of times if you got a bunch of blackberry coming up, there's all these thorns and brush and brambles. Anyway, burning off your land once a year, you get rid of all that brush and brambles and unwanted tree seedlings and stuff. You burn them all up. So it's a good thing to do. To control your land a lot easier than going through every so often and trying to brush hog crap and hitting rocks with your, or having to go through with limb loppers because you got stuff that's growed up that big around trunks on it, and go through once a year and burn it. Just do it, and you'll control your land a lot easier for you. Roughly, my eyes, roughly 1,500,000. It's a really rough estimate, but even if someone disagrees with my estimate 33%, I'm still at 1,000,000. Farmers always control burn, says Judy. Don says it goes back to my theory that if they are out there, they ride moose during the winter to hide prints. A lot of seeds won't germinate without fire. Yeah, there's a lot of species that they call them pyrophytes. They fight fire, fight loving, or it probably means something a little different, but they like fire. They're designed to live in areas that burn because nature's always had fire in a lot of areas. Icon says, Judy, the hayfields come back really nice, deep green after burn. It's great for the soil and shocks the plant into producing. Mr. Lee says, has anyone seen Patrick Vaughn? He's probably out watching a Sasquatch give birth or something. Icon, yes. Native Americans used to control burn method. Yep. It's Bigfoot breeding season. He's watching. Yeah. Yeah. I think most states have more forest than land in use right now. Says Judy. Mr. Lee says, Donald, I'm mind speaking you. What am I saying? Jen says, we'd all probably be better off with less reliance on things. If when things go sideways, the Amish would be better off than us. Yep. Judy says, a race of humans, not confused or confined, simply amazing. Yep. Donald says, you're saying, I sure hope Patrick finds Lockbeard a suitable mate. Maya says, Donald, oh my God, you made me snort. Scotty says, been spending most of our life living in an Amish paradise. I'm not sure which comment you're talking about, but thank you. Scenery setting is amazing. Judy says she loves this conversation. Thank you. Thank you. The rats, let me tell you. The rats, you have rat problems. Didn't I think rats built England, didn't they? Judy says, I just traveled miles of forest that just took my breath away. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Lee says, yes, the rats did build England. So, let me see here. What is today? Saturday. I got to do an update on the freaking TV guide, but I don't know. I don't know if Central Florida Bigfoot's going to be on tonight. UFO Man Live used to come on tonight. I think he's had some changes on his channel, so I don't know what's going on. Used to he had an 8 to 9 show, UFO Man channel, and the show was called UFO Man Live with Tim and Tommy. So he may be on starting now or 8 o'clock. What the Paranormal used to do 8 to 10 tonight as well. So that's now, starting now, but I don't know for sure if they still are. And then the other thing, see, we got Paranormal Portal hour from now if you want to watch that. Of course, Spaced Out Radio, Talking Weird at both of those in a few hours. Keep your little book in a couple hours. That's about it for Saturday night. Saturday night's not too heavy. Donald says, I'd like to see Nikki do more shows like last night. That was fun. Maya says, now I'm going to spend the night pouring over Google Earth. Yeah, that picture of the North Sentinel Island, and I pulled up Google Earth on it and put the boundary in, and then did a screenshot and cropped it out so I could put it over on my presentation because I like to get my own unique pictures when I can. I can pull up a map of it anywhere, but I like to get my own unique pictures if I can sometimes. And plus, I wanted to put that boundary in there to kind of show you that hexagon was 100 square kilometers. So to show people, I was being very careful. I was giving them more. I was giving them more room to be more charitable, to be more conservative with the number I was going to come up with. Because if I brought that down, that 1.5 million, well, it was 60. So added 40. So I'm increasing. Actually, I could probably get pretty accurate because that affected everything, right? It started right at the beginning. Give me a second here. So I know what I need to do. So I think, if I'm not doing this wrong, if I'd gone with the actual land area on the island for my calculation I just did, I would have come up with 2,500,000. So by rounding up on that at that stage in the numbers, I knocked off a full million Sasquatch. I think that's being charitable, damn it. Also, Google Earth is what that map I put of one of the kingdoms of the Eternus Empire to try to get y'all to figure out where it was at. We could do that every so often. I got a bunch of them mapped out. We could do that more often, like put it up and try not to leave any identifying, anything identifying on it other than the name that I've given the kingdom. And then y'all could figure out what it is. But anyway, I did all that on Google Earth because you can go in and put your own markers and they call it polygons, but that's how I mark out the territory. And it's measured and placed at certain, like it's based on the grid that we use to measure the Earth. See, that's one of the things that irritates me about how country borders are drawn. They're all so willy-nilly. A lot of times they'll like draw a border along a river. Well, that's dumb. I mean, it's cool for like hunter gatherers, and they're not too concerned about the river moving. But rivers move, slowly over time. Sometimes they jump a lot, and it creates border conflicts sometimes when that happens. So it's better just to use the look, this corner, like this border is on this latitude, period. This border is on that longitude, period. And in that way, then nothing that changes in the landscape is going to change the fact that your borders are on that grid on certain at certain GPS coordinates. Anyway, I don't know. I think I got like maybe 100 and something different kingdoms mapped out, something like that. I'm not sure. Probably won't see any moose either, says my eyes. Donald will have to watch. My eyes says, thank you for the great discussion, Lockbeard. You're welcome, my eyes. Donald says, my eyes, I looked in the area of my experience on Google Earth looking for a creature, never found one. I don't think you'll find them on Google Earth. They might. I mean, but if they hide that well on the ground, think about like Google Earth's looking down on their head. You're probably not gonna pick them out. Thank you, Mr. Lee. I'm trying, man. It's got to get probably a good 6 inches on it before I can reattach my beard lock, and then install my other beard locks. But you got to have I think a good 6 inches to really do it right. Get the images without trees. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you can't see through the canopy though. A lot of the time, never gonna get a bingo card from Nikki at this rate. I miss the late night shows and work Sundays. Danny says, greetings from South Carolina. Greetings, Danny, from the Empire. Donald says, my eyes, I got a capture of either late fall or early spring. No leaves on the trees. The bearded knowledge returns. Yep. I'm gonna jump over on see if who's live on YouTube directly, because I looked at the guides, but oh gosh. Is Elon Musk gonna buy Twitter? Well, that's gonna be fun. Let's see here. Yeah, there's not much going on. I see Peter Kane is live. Man, I don't like Peter Kane. When I watch like his regular videos, he seems cool enough, but in his live streams, he is an asshole. Complete asshole. Like, people say stuff to him and he'll get all offended for no reason. They're not even trying to offend him. He gets so bent out of shape and offended at him, and they ban people so easily over there. Like, I finally sent him, put a message in and said, like, I'm not coming back in here. I don't like you. You suck ass. It's no fun because you respond like an asshole to everything. Like, sometimes it's justified to respond to people like an asshole, but he is an irritable turd. Don't like him. Is he actually going to come on tonight? Because let me see here. I don't see him. He's not live yet. If he is coming on, YouTube's not giving me a notification of squat. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I had to actually go to his channel and then go to the videos tab. Now I see it. Relax today, Lettuce Lake Park walkabout. Lettuce Lake, I believe that's where there was that Bigfoot sighting that a lot of people think is a fake, but it says premieres though, so it's not a live show. It don't look like it's a premiere, but with premieres you gotta chat, so you can go in and chat at least, and of course he'll probably be in his chat. But that's scheduled for 8:30. It looks like, so that's in 17 minutes. So I don't know. I may be there. Yeah, my eyes. Because I had to shave my beard. I didn't want to, but then I left that job because my anxiety was out of control. I couldn't. There was no way I could. My hair was going to turn freaking gray. I don't know where. Anyway, I kept it because I was going to turn my entire beard into locks, not just this one here. I was going to turn it all into dreadlocks. So I saved it so that I could one day reinstall it. I mean, a lot of people get human hair extensions for their dreadlocks instead of like, wool or other materials, fake stuff. And so they're getting human hair from someone else that, donated somewhere. So, but I'm not, I'm going to just use my own because I just saved it. It was years of growth, and so I can turn it all into dreadlocks and reinstall it, and it'd be like I never cut my beard. I mean, if you're not going to have a dreadlock beard, you can't do that. You can't just attach each individual hair to each other, right? But not normally, not normal. But I was gonna have dreadlocks anyway in my beard, so that's I'll just do that, and it'll be like I never had to cut my beard, and I actually got my dreadlocks done. So, but I just had the one. I think I had it for a couple of years, maybe a year and a half. I had it, but I put that off for so long, and I'd like to get my hair done. But I mean, it's going to cost. It costs money. I can't do it myself. Some people do that themselves, but I can't do it. I just can't. Um, but yeah, in effect, that's what'll be happy. I'll be getting extensions. So, but I have to get enough length because you couldn't dreadlock this. It's too short. I mean, I guess you could, but it wouldn't hold together. You'd have to rubber band it together and make it, But I just got to let it grow until it's long enough. Don says, seems like we have lost a lot of shows lately. I remember having to pick what show I was going to watch not too long ago. Yeah. Well, I need to do some. I need to like go and try to update the TV guide again. Um, it's it's a lot of effort because you gotta, because they try to contact the channel and then they won't respond a lot of the times. I've had some of them because I'll try and talk to them in the chat, if I'm on their show, and then they'll be all pissy with me because I'm asking these questions. I'm like, look, I'm trying to put a completed entry for your show on my TV guide, which I will share with other people, which will hopefully bring some people to your channel. Why are you being a fucking bitch to me? Whatever. Danny says, just got in my mom's funeral was today. Sorry to hear about that. My condolences, Danny. Ron Moorhead. Yeah, but do we really want to watch Ron Moorhead? Do we really want? Where's Icon at? Icon? Ron Moorhead and his quantum Bigfoot. Ron, that is a supreme example of what Ken is talking about with the word quantum. All you gotta do is throw quantum in front of it, and it sounds smart there. By that bullshit, probably. I wonder how many people bought that book. It's like, oh, this is seriously intelligent stuff here. Ron Moorhead is a genius. No, Ron Moorhead is a moron who was just smart enough to know if he just threw the word quantum in front of Bigfoot, he was going to be able to sell some damn books. That's what he did. It's Jesus Christ. Freaking, I'm not watching Ron Moorhead. Fuck that guy. Sorry, Danny. Mr. Lee says, Peter has hidden me all the time, never blocks me though. I love Peter for his dog advice and art. Well, I'm not going to I can't, I might show a clip here and there of some of his funny shit. I don't know. I think of something. He is such an asshole in his chat. And there's no justification for it. People aren't even, they're just trying to talk to him, and he's like being a prick for no good reason to some people, to me too. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You must not want people to stay around. Like, you want to be in just a little tight group of people. I guess that's all you want. Because Jesus Christ, dude. What? I mean, he's a prick. Maya says Lockbeard didn't ban me even when I told him I loved Kel. Yeah, it's pretty bad if you love Kale, man. It's Angel says that is why I watch shows for a bit to see how people are in chat. This is a good bunch of people. Donald says at this point, I will lurk on Volt's show to listen to him beg for people to pay for his cams behind his house and also the BS he spews. Why are you putting him back? Like, see, if I feel like he's trying to sell people on this whole thing that they're coming right to my house, and if I put cams just to get himself a security system on his house. I guess he's just trying to get a security system on his house. I don't know. I mean, we all need money to do the thing, right? We do. I mean, I'm not begrudging people trying to drum up funds to do the thing. But some of these people aren't doing the thing. They're just saying they are. You know what I mean? That's what hacks me off. I don't, because now they're sucking about, they're pulling a fucking Dyer on you. I can't believe people fell for it twice with them. Like, if you do it one, like, how in the hell do all these people give them all that money twice? Jesus Christ, they want to believe the bullshit so much. And then when you got someone like me that's sitting here saying, "Look, I want to do, a legit, scientific investigation here, but I need the equipment to do it, and so on and so forth. The thing costs money. That freaking just putting up a game cam ain't going to do it. It might. Occasionally people do get game cam pictures, but things need to get a little more serious than that. And Sonny Hulk, oh my gosh. Lettuce Lake, them's fighting words, says why are them fighting words? You like Lettuce Lake? Skinny Hulk. Pretty impressive, Lockbeard. I can barely do a ponytail. What do you mean? What's impressive? Oh, like how long my beard was? Or like the hair? Is that what my eyes thinks it's real? I don't know that it's real. Could be fake. I don't know. It's not conclusive. I don't think. It's inconclusive. At this point, it's going to be hard to say anything's conclusive because the costuming possibilities are, I guarantee if I wanted to fake a Bigfoot video, I could do it, and nobody, it'd take me some money. It'd take several $1,000s to pull it off, I think, but I could do it, and people would not be able to tell that it was fake. That it wasn't like no CGI or anything. I just go out, do the thing, make the costume, and people would not know it's fake. It would be inconclusive though, because that's what I'm talking about though. It would be inconclusive. The costuming possibilities these days is so good that you could do a fake Bigfoot video and or put it next to a real one and you just wouldn't be able to tell. I mean, there's things you could do to kind of, proportions and stuff like that. But even then, there's possibilities. Yes, Icon. Quantum Bigfoot. I shit you not. You ain't heard of this bullshit? Hold on a second. We got to look at this. Oh, where's the best place to? Do I want to go to his website or Amazon? Hold on a second. I guess I'll go to his website. All right. Hold on just a second. Hold on. I'm going to share the screen. You ain't going to believe this shit, Icon. Look at that. Look at that bullshit right there. The Quantum Bigfoot by Ron Moorhead. And this Yahoo. Oh my gosh. This Yahoo. I wonder how much money he made. See, that's my problem. People are selling these big. They make this. They just come up with an angle, right? They come up with an angle. You know, you got the quantum Bigfoot over here. You got freaking Chris Noel over here. You know, talking. You know, Porky Squat. Well, that wasn't his angle. But what was he saying? The autistic. He had this whole theory about how Bigfoot are these autistic people. Jesus Christ. And people were just eating that up. They were just eating that up. I still hear people repeat that bullshit out. Oh, I think they're autistic. You don't know. That was some bullshit angle that was drummed up by these assholes to make money, to get notoriety and all the, you know, whatever. So yeah, excerpt from chapter 4 here says, so how does quantum physics relate to spirituality and Bigfoot? It doesn't, because as Ken Wheeler has been trying to teach people, and we know is a fact, is that quantum physics is a load of shit. It's a load of shit. He says here, in my 45 plus years of researching this phenomenon, I have heard several strange reports. A few of these reports from seemingly heartfelt people claimed that these creatures disappeared. Is that even possible? Can the laws of quantum physics actually answer that question? No, because they can't answer shit, Ron. Knowing what I know, I am compelled to delve in and see. The accepted mathematics of quantum physics says that there is more going on than what we see with our three-dimensional eyes. And here, look at this. Scientists now know through physics that empty space, dark matter, dark energy, bullshit, is not actually empty. Okay. However, it is a dimension existing outside the human light spectrum and the observable vibrational frequency. You see, this is where he throws in some things in there that got some legitimacy to it, but the overall message is bullshit because he's resting on quantum physics and acting like he actually knows. Like a quantum physicist should write this book, not Ron Moorhead. Ron Moorhead is not a quantum physicist. He's just some douchebag who saw an angle and ran with it. Don't buy this bullshit. Don't buy this bullshit. Right, don't buy it. See, Prairie Fire agrees. Moorhead is bullshit. Myra says, Mr. Lee, I don't know. I just heard Lockbeard say it. Where's Pyromedic? I summon you. Pyromedic. Doesn't surprise me he's on Sold Out Radio. Sold Out Radio. The Wanker Show, SOR. Could get selling quantum ketchup popsicles, Eskimos with white gloves. I didn't mean to. I don't know how that happened. Part of the mainstream. You should see how he treats his friends. Donald says, yeah, but $20 a month to watch cameras that will never have a Bigfoot on them is crazy. Yeah, it is. It is. Send your money to my PayPal instead, motherfuckers. If I get enough coming in, I can actually do some real shit. But, Jesus Christ. Don't send it to the dude to help him put a security system on his damn house. I mean, he may need it, but is he doing the thing? Is he actually going to be able to find evidence of Bigfoot or whatever the hell, Dog Man or whatever's coming around his house? Spaced Out Radio, Donald. Because they're not keto. I like big beetroot though. Sold Out Radio. He scams nightly. Never watched that one. Yeah, it's woo and bunk, and occasionally he has a decent guest on, but usually it's just crazy people. If you can't stop yourself from vomiting, watch it. Actually, Lockbeard, you can keep saying costume. Who will you fake it to? I ain't gonna fake it. I mean, I don't know. One of these days, I may, if I could afford to do it, then I would do it just to show people how easily it can be done and why they should not just believe every video they see out there. They shouldn't. Oh, I didn't ban him. I don't know how he got banned, but he was. I mean, I have an idea, but plus he has an alien who's his friend. Yeah. Shooting to start keto on the first. They say you can eat spinach, not a ton, but it's okay. Yeah, but spinach isn't good for you. I know that flies against everything you've ever been told, but just trust me, spinach is not good for you. Sandra says, I used to watch SOR, but they could get sketchy. Oh, they're sketchy, man. Just don't do a costume to fake out PV. You're above that. I don't know. That would be kind of fun. He'd be on here like strutting, like, here I am, a third generation tracker, and I've watched Bigfoot. I've tracked Bigfoot. I watched him disappear like the predator. I've seen him breed and give birth. And more recently, I watched a Bigfoot jack off in the woods. It was the damnedest thing I ever saw. Quantum Bigfoot. Yeah. You can't believe that shit, Icon? Can you believe that? Prairie Fire says, oh, hell yeah. If you can't handle the Puke Fest default, you can handle SOR. Poor retarded Bigfoot. It's a big joke. Cindy's back. Not too much spinach. Dave from SOR is a clinical pathological liar, says Prairie Fire. Didn't watch the video. Seemed like seems to me to be a lot like Atkins. It is in some regards, but ideally, like I've tried to tell people over and over again, like go strictly red fatty meat, steak, hamburger meat. You can do bacon, you can do chicken and stuff. It's just chicken. Like especially when I've been eating strictly carnivore for a while, chicken, I can just tell when I eat it, it's an inferior meat. It's inferior nutrition. My body's like, dude, why are you eating chicken? Go get a damn steak, asshole. And then, but you don't want to eat all the plants and stuff. The plants, they all have anti-nutrients in it. It's poor nutrient, like it doesn't absorb well anyway. It contains plant toxins because the plants, they don't want to be eaten, and humans aren't designed to eat those types of plants. So they're toxic. It ain't going to kill you outright, but it's not good for you. Talking quantum physics now. Spaced out radio, man. Donald said, I don't get why Bigfoot is on the only creature that has these abilities. Morehead equal goof. He just found an angle and ran with it. Ron Lesshead. Yeah. Prairie Fire wins chat. He said quantum physics full of shit. I concur. Yeah, quantum physics. Yeah, because there are some correct observations, but they interpret so much wrong, and they come up with a lot of ridiculous things. I mean, I'm pro science. It's just that sometimes, in this case, there's something wrong with a lot of stuff, and I've talked about that at length before. But ideally, if you want to really know what the deal is, you need to go to Ken Wheeler's channel. He's spent years, thousands of videos teaching how the universe actually functions and why quantum physics is bullshit. So there's no point in me saying too much here. The best place to go is there, because I'm not going to spend that much time going into it anyway. It's a big subject. And a lot of people are fighting through years of brainwashing to even accept anything they're hearing when it comes to field theory and metaphysics. Sold Out Radios on nightly. Praising Lyndon. Oh my gosh. Explain woo to me, Lockbeard. Well, not tonight, Miss Lamb. I'm trying to wrap her up here. Can't believe they go to school to do nothing. But you know what woo is, Mr. Lee. Prior Fire says, gotta hand it to SOR. They managed to put 10 pounds of shit into a 5-pound bag. Icon, have you seen Sasquatch? Lockbeard. See if it's how goes the battle for the grandkids? Cindy fan says Donald. Cindy says Patrick Bond said he stopped filming because I went back to reread. He said he stopped filming because I went back to reread. Huh? Icon says, Mr. Lee, no, sir. I have heard many tales of Bigfoot in Wisconsin North Woods for a long time. Always interested in seeing if one surfaces in my lifetime. Cindy says, Donald, I think the ex is lying, and my daughter needs to tell attorney to have him served. Mr. Lee says, Icon have ghost activity, I bet. Being a total piece of shit, Cindy says Donald. Freaking Ron Moorhead, man. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, he so obviously was just trying to he just found an angle to run with. He thought he was going to sound smart and really blow people's mind. And he probably did blow some people's minds, but he blew them off. All he did. Mr. Lee's eating cashew nuts. That's okay, Mr. Lee. I ate some yesterday. They look good, so I ate them. But shouldn't have. They're poisonous. I grabbed something interesting here. Mr. Lee. Can you see that shit? There we go. They're okay. They're not great taste. They're not. I'll put it this way: they don't taste good enough that I will ever eat them again. But they're kind of like a peanut butter cup, but it's got the mint inside instead. Chocolate mint. So, I don't know. I thought I'd give them a try. I've had like a peanut butter cup, keto peanut butter cups. Oh my gosh, it got too hot in here. Well, I ain't gonna be able to show it to you very well. I didn't realize it got that hot. Well, Jesus Christ. Well, now it looks like a bug on the windshield, but it's like a peanut butter cup, or it was once upon a time. I think you can. Oh, shoot. Yeah, you can kind of see how it was a peanut butter cup once upon a time. But it's not peanut butter, it's mint. Anyway, if you're having a craving for peanut butter cups, there's several different brands of options of peanut butter cups, that are keto. Prairie Fire says the Bigfoot bullshit has gotten so bad I've completely stayed away from the Bigfoot shows on YouTube. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still a few of them out here that we're trying to keep it real, right? I mean, me, not exclusively Bigfoot, but leaning pretty heavy into it on LOCKBEARD Phenomenon and the Random Lives or just other stuff, But then Squatch Talk, they try to keep it real over there. Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group, Sasquatch speaks, tries to keep it real over there. And then, it's kind of real over at Mogs a lot of the time. It seems like he tries to keep it real. But, sometimes you get people like that guy the other night, 2 nights ago. Oh, my gosh, that guy was completely off his nut. Yes, pistachios are the best of all the nuts. Like I like cashews are really good. Almonds are probably a third, but pistachios are number one, and the price is number one too. The highest priced nut out there. Cindy says I went back to reread to make sure PB answered. I have to. I have to what the question was on mating birthing. Then some other chatting went on, and he replied. He said he stopped filming. Oh, were they trying to ask him if he got on camera, and then he had an excuse for why he didn't get on camera? Is that what it was? Donald says, "Isn't that equate your nemesis, Lockbeard? Why? It's a cheap. It's like a cheap brand. Why? Why is it my nemesis? Looks like a turd. Damn." Jen says, "Mr. Lee, Lockbeard thoughts on monk fruit as sugar replacement? I don't know. I really haven't looked into monk fruit. I don't know if it's good or not." Um, Icon says, "Mr. Lee, it's interesting that you bring that up. Had some haunted dreams as a kid, but never seen any form of specter. After some research, I figured my radio isn't tuned into their signal." Cindy says, "Yes, Donald, he is, and he thinks he can probably get an attorney in Cali, but it is a Texas matter." Prayfire says, "I enjoy this show. At least people can say what they want." Yeah. Yeah, say what you want. Mr. Lee says, "Jen, maybe try free cuckoos from Aldi. Pistachio, yeah." Yeah, the problem is, though, they don't hardly digest, man. Look, eat you a bunch of nuts, and, I know it's gross, but inspect your poo, man. You turn around, just take a look before you flush, and you'll see. It's like, damn, that looks like freaking, it looks like a freaking payday bar down in, it's like the shit. It don't digest. It don't digest, and what little you do get out of it is a lot of times anti-nutrients and toxins that you don't want. It's just not good for you. Nuts are not good for you. You've been told this whole thing this whole time, and it's actually they're completely worthless thing that you really shouldn't eat for optimal health and for it's just not something you need to eat. Saw filming and no one ever saw what he filmed. Did he ever? And the people in this chat room are solid folks. Thank you. Film in the first place. I don't know. Can't be bothered to crack them open though, Donald. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I think I went over it one time on a random live. I went over it one night. I don't know if I read the whole thing. I don't remember if I read the whole thing in its entirety, but I showed it on screen and everything. Prayer Fire says, when I go into the other shows, I look for people's names from here, like Sander, Jen, Icon, just to name a few. Yeah. Oh, you're thinking of equal. This is equate. But it's probably, what is it sweetened with? Erythritol, which isn't as bad as like the other options, to be honest. Erythritol and stevia. More erythritol. Stevia. Erythritol and stevia. It's actually, no sucralose and aspartame, none of that shit. Yeah, you can come back. You do what you want. I'm just telling you what's better for you. If you want to have optimal health. Oh, about the ghost PDF, yeah. Yeah, well, Mr. Lee may have been here. We went over it one night on here, Mr. Lee, um, on one of the random lives, I believe. Ham, steak, solid cheese, meat especially. Where's Jay tonight? eggs. Yeah, I gotta eat eggs. You know, or did because I don't have refrigeration on here, so because I'm not I'm not plugged in all the time, so it's pointless that refrigerator. But so I have a crock pot sitting here, and just whenever I get plugged into shore power, which I am right now, I plug it in. I can warm up the meat in there. So what I did the other day is I went and got some eggs, and I just kept them back here, no refrigeration and over a couple of days I ate them. So I had I got that crock pot heated up with that corned beef in there, and then I thickened up the juices around the meat with the potato flakes, which that was a bad thing. I need to get some other way of thickening it up. And then I cracked them eggs in there and cooked them on top of that, and ate my eggs, and then just scooped them out. So that worked out. Hadn't tried that before, but I ate that whole dozen of eggs, not all in one sitting, but I did that over a few days. Have you tried stevia? Stevia might work out better for you. Stevia and erythritol. Yeah, don't eat no sugar. Same yourself, find it comforting in certain ways. Monk fruit is a natural sweetener, no carb value. Stevia always has an aftertaste for me. My says, Donald, it was virtual, so I thought it was okay. In hindsight, I should have never done the virtual dip when dancing. That's confusing. 3 or 4 eggs a day. There was a time years ago where I was eating 12 eggs a day. I'd go to the restaurant and order 12 eggs. They'd be like, what the hell is this guy's going to die? Because they all think your cholesterol is going to go through the roof, because they believe that whole bullshit that eating cholesterol makes your cholesterol go up in your blood. It does not. That ain't what happens. That's not how fucking human physiology works. But they would have been told that, and so people were like, "Oh, the cholesterol in the eggs," and shut up. You're just parroting what you've been told, because you believe eating cholesterol does not raise your blood cholesterol. That's not what causes that. Damn it. Oh shit, dude. You've been lied to about so many things when it comes to dietary advice. It's just ridiculous. If you like, I send PDF to Achaeos and they can forward it to you. I don't know if I put a link to it, because I had on an episode, we went through it on screen. I think we read the whole thing. Didn't we, Mr. Lee? Were you there? I think Mr. Lee, because we went through it. In the words full of social virtuing goofs. If you haven't tried those. Who's stevia, Jen? Lucky fella. No, the sweetener stevia. Yeah. I've been having this crock pot go every day. I actually need to plug that sucker in. But when I get it heated up so I can. Didn't want to plug it in when I started up because it was too hot out here. I'd be running a damn crock pot in here, but I'm going to run it right now. Eat some corned beef here in a little bit. I know what I forgot. I forgot to get cheese when I was in town a while ago. Damn it. Went and watched Central Florida Bigfoot's video, short video, but he's already done? Well, that wasn't very long because he started at 8:30, right? So that couldn't have been long. I was getting ready to cut it out. Figured people would go over there. Eating cholesterol feeds the brain. Yeah. Aspartame will kill you. Yeah, aspartame's bad shit, man. I could eat a dozen eggs at one point, no problem. I hadn't done that in a while. Yeah. Well, I think part of the issue, because I don't ever want to eat that many anymore. I think, because, years of eating a normal diet or what they tell you is healthy, you end up with malnutrition. It takes a while for your body to kind of realize, okay, you're getting enough everything, or maybe you're low on something. You're never going to know. You go doctor and test for this and that and 100 different things, and they're never going to find it, or maybe what they think is low isn't low, or what they think is too much or enough isn't enough, and you're just never going to do it. So what you got to do is just eat a carnivore diet. Just eat and after a while, like your appetite's going to definitely come down. Sometimes it comes down really quick. So now, like I'm not gonna, like, I can't eat a dozen eggs. I'll get a bowl, this size out of there, and all the fats in there, all the drippings in there, and then I'll be like, I won't even hardly be able to eat the whole thing because, um, I'm getting all my nutrition that I need because I'm eating enough and eating the right things and trying to minimize how many plant stuff I eat. Ideally, I'd try not to eat any, but like yesterday, I got some nuts. They were looking good, but your appetite will go down, and so now, like, I ain't gonna eat. I don't feel like eating 12 eggs. Used to, I did, but I think I was still trying. My body was still trying to get something that I was just seriously depleted in eating a normal diet. That's part of the reason why people are hungry. There's multiple mechanisms behind the excessive hunger that most people feel. Most people feel excessive hunger. They don't know it. They think it's normal hunger, but it's not. Everyone is seriously deficient in certain things, and they're eating things that make them hungry. The mess with their hormones. The carbs mess with your hormones. But the hunger levels will come down if you just eat meat and eat it long enough, and you start getting your nutrition built. Your nutrition correct. Yeah, it was just a premiere. Yeah, I think I put on screen and went through it, man. Teaser reel. Don't he look different? Does it all look there? Yeah, put on that bandana. Must be a headband. Icon says, damn it, now I want fried eggs over hash browns and onions. If I had a pinch of salted water will help the keto flu as the body kicks off excess. Well, yeah. You need a little salt. Or, I like, there's been times where, because, like, where's my damn salt at? I got multiple containers, like, you know, uh, pink Himalayan salt. Got a number of containers in it. Actually, I had this idea because I get into a restaurant and all they got's their standard, like, table salt. So I was like, well, how am I need to figure out an easy way to take some salt in with me. So I got this little vial here. It's got sea salt in it, so I can take that, put a little salt in it. But anyway, I was in the past, I was just sprinkling a little salt, every time if I get a little hungry or whatever, or feel not feeling good or whatever, I'd just take a little salt and that'd be all right. And one day I had that top open. It was on a different container. Had it open too far, and I was trying to in there. Anyway, somehow it was. How it gets clumped up, and then sometimes it breaks loose. But it broke loose, and I dumped a whole assload of salt in my mouth. So I just rinsed it down, and it didn't kill me. I'm fine. It was just body was like, okay, we got a bunch of salt. No big deal. Well, you can handle this. It's actually good for us. Maybe that was a little much, but yeah, salt's good. Sea salt's good for you. Lean and look good these days. Telling you I eat loads. Tribute to all Mug Scots having them on one night. Carbs are evil. Yeah, pretty much. Breakfast at yours, Ike. I'll bring the Bundy. Concentrate drilling. Added to the picture. That's where I got the idea. Yeah, Mr. Lee 3PO. Scotty says, excellent. You got to try the bacon I get. Or Icon says to Scotty, got to try the bacon I get. Salty cracker. No crackers. Well, unless you calling me cracker, then I'm salty probably. Scotty says, F yeah. Yep. I'm sure he probably does. Suits you, Donnie, says Scotty. Sexy headband clan. All right. We're way over 2 hours. We're at 2 hours and 55 minutes. It's time to wrap her up. Obviously I'm on the alternate channel right now because the regular channel has once again been banned. So, I'm going to have to be really, really careful about what I say because I got 2 strikes, 3 strikes and you're out because YouTube's douchebags. So whatever. We'll get through it. The strikes will fall off and everything will be fine. If it does go wrong, well, I still got the backup channel, so whatever. Screw you, YouTube. So anyway, so let's wrap her up. Next week I'll be doing LOCKBEARD Phenomena right here on this channel, the backup channel again. And then we should be back on the regular LOCKBEARD channel after that. No, I get prescribed opiates. Doc said I have to quit them first. And as for random lies, I mean, I guess they're going to be few and far between, because, for at least for now. Nice chatting with y'all. So thanks. Thank you, Jen. Thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. If you got a wrench uncle, tell him to send some money to PayPal so support what I'm trying to do and so I can put more time into YouTube. And then I've told you guys about a lot of things I'd like to do. It's just it costs money to do these things, experiments and bigfooting stuff, and going to places, and then maybe eventually interviewing people, interesting people. But it just costs money to do this stuff, so can only be out of pocket so much. Icon says, yep, I need to go make me some eggs and hash browns anyhow. I got the munchies now. Great chat. So Cindy, good night, everyone, says Icon. Thank you, lucky legendary mate. Thank you, Scotty. Gonna bounce. Good evening, all. Good evening, Perry Fire. See you next time. Good night. God bless, says Sandra. Donald says, pain clinic got me hooked during the pharmacy. Yeah, damn pain pills, man. You're welcome, Mr. Lee. Night, Ike, Cindy, everyone else in here. Good night, everybody. Steve Ishtal, what? How dare you mention that name, Mr. Lee. All right, thank you, everybody. Stay free and stay grounded.